There was an earthquake in Kefalonia Island in West Greece, in the Ionian Islands. The big event happened. We drove during the night to go to the site. We used the ferry at 5 a.m. in the morning, and like 7 a.m. we were in the site. So I remember that in the room that we were spending the night, you could see the whole, the wall with the bricks just moved a few, like half a centimeter away from the frame, of the concrete frame. So it was, you felt like it will fall. So any type of motion, you were feeling at that time, because even if it was small, you were looking at the wall and then said, it will fall or I'm good to go. So you were running out, because the only thing you can do is you don't know how long this will take, if the intensity will increase with time, and then something might fall. That was an experience, I have to say. So my name is Alexandros Savvaidis. I'm a research professor here at the Bureau, and I am the manager of the Seismic network for the state of Texas, and I'm leading the Seismology research group here at the Bureau. In 2015, there were some earthquakes in the area of the Dallas-Fort Worth that triggered the interest from the public and then triggered the interest of the state as well. So the state legislature decided the state should have its own seismic network and its own seismology research group. So it makes sure that we understand why the seismicity is happening, find out where it is located and migrating in space and in time also, and then understand the causal factors of the seismicity and how we can minimize the earthquake hazard and risk related to it. So the goal was to have someone to start the seismic network for the state of Texas. And of course, start creating both an operational group of scientists that need to analyze the data, and also a group of research scientists that they can provide research results using the data that we record. I did the initial design. I set up also the software and all the data IT infrastructure that's necessary for this. Now we have reached almost 210 seismic stations, new seismic stations. So I grew up in Greece. I felt the first earthquake when I was 9 years old. And that was really, important actually, because you're a child and you start feeling earthquakes, you start having interest about what's happening in the subsurface. Earthquakes is one of the geohazards that you really feel that you are somehow helpless, okay? So because there's not a lot of things you can do. So for example, flooding is something that you can have some information about before. We have a good network and a good resources to understand what is happening and how this raining might affecting the flooding in the area, that you might use some prevention measures. With earthquakes, it's not like that, because you don't know the exact time, the exact location. You might see that there are earthquakes happening in an area, you might feel small ones, but you never know if there will be a big one and how will be the magnitude and the intensity of it, so you might have some prevention measures. When the big one happens, if it happens, then you feel like helpless. You're just moving around and you don't know what to do. I mean, you feel like something is moving below your feet and you might fall down, something might get worse, walls or buildings collapsing, so that's a problem. And as I said, being myself in a few of those earthquakes when I was 9 and also feeling them now as a scientist, I can tell you it's the same feeling. You still feel helpless. That was one of the main reasons starting working on geoscience and geophysics mostly. So my first degree is in geology and then I studied geophysics. I started working with the subsurface information and also seismology because of the high seismicity rate in Greece at that time. I work with a lot of magnitude 6 and above earthquakes, not only as a scientist, but also in person, moving to the areas of the seismicity, the epicentral area, just to make sure we understand what is happening and why, and also observational seismology, so putting a small array of sensors to understand how the seismicity is changing with time after the big events. You have to increase the awareness, so you have to educate the people before if you feel like an area is prone to earthquakes. So that's something you have to do as a scientist. It's not only the science you do, it's part of. The other thing is that after the earthquake happens is that you also have to be there and to provide feedback to emergency management social scientists. I can give you an example. After the 99 earthquake in Athens, it's a city of 5 million, 20% of the people could not sleep at night because they felt like something will happen again. It is tough, and if you're not prepared, especially if you feel it the first time, it's a challenge. I think for the state of Texas is a new thing. So we're trying to help people to understand what is happening. One thing that is maybe important to know is that all those magnitude 5 earthquakes, even if they happen in West Texas, people feel it even in Dallas or San Antonio. So areas like San Antonio, for example, they amplify the motion because of the loose material that this city is located. So in that case, they can feel earthquakes in West Texas, although they are like 100 miles away. We have an earthquake notification system that we use ourselves, and the public can use it as well. We get notifications on our phones or by email or in social platforms like X, so that you can follow us and you can see the seismicity of magnitude 3 and above earthquakes. We have a 24/7 duty seismology shift, so someone is available when an earthquake happens. We get the notification on the phone, and then we analyze the event. We provide high resolution earthquake location. We provide different software tools that are available to the scientific community and the Royal Commission of Texas, so that they can assess the earthquake hazard of the seismicity that we have in the state. In geoscience in general, I think it's important that you like to be outside and traveling a lot and be close to the nature and the earth itself. Let's somehow listen to the earth. I think that's the primary. The secondary thing nowadays is that you have to have some other skills, some analytical skills, like some physics and math background is good. Data science becoming a lot. Computer science is a tool, so you have to upskill yourself on that as well. Especially if you want to try geophysics or seismology, you need to do that. With time, geosciences are becoming more and more important.
Thanks for watching Meet a Geoscientist, a series by the Bureau of Economic Geology. For more information on this topic, check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this conversation, like and subscribe to discover more career paths in geoscience.